Joining us now is UWL political professor Joe Heim on this topic. I know people are going to be shocked that Congress cannot get along and pass a budget. Are we going to head towards a government shutdown?
I think there's a pretty reasonable chance it's going to happen. John Boehner, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, has said a majority of his supporters, in other words, a majority of his members in the Congress, have to support this, otherwise it will not go to the floor without that. And 40 of them have said they will not support the budget unless it includes no funding for Obamacare. So he's in a really rock and a hard place.
Now, the House has voted 3 or 4 dozen times to repeal Obamacare. It's not happening. They passed a budget today that defunds Obamacare, but the Senate says it's dead on arrival. Why do they keep passing things that have absolutely no hope of getting through?
I think it's the base. They want to go back home and say, hey, we've done all we can to stop Obamacare. Because the base, the Tea Party people, the right wing of his own party, basically do not want this to happen. And you've got 40 congressmen essentially signing a letter saying absolutely under no circumstances. They're also from very safe districts. So they can get away with, frankly, a government close down.
Now, I know people are sick of Congress not being able to get, I know I'm sick of them not being able to get something done. Who's going to take the responsibility for this if the government shuts down?
Well, that's the interesting part of this. If you believe in polls, a solid majority of the public does not favor Obamacare, and this has been consistent for a long time. However, a majority of the public, a solid majority, do not want to fund, if there's a question of funding Obamacare or government, they do not want to close down government just to stop Obamacare. And Obamacare is supposed to start October 1st, and it's a question of the question is, who gets the blame for it, and secondarily, is it going to work or not work? Some people think that the Republicans oppose it because they're afraid it's going to work. Other people think they're opposing it because they absolutely don't think it's going to work.
Is there any kind of lack of leadership from the president? Is this the president's fault that he can't get Congress to get along and to pass these?
He certainly takes some of the blame for this. How many times has he said things, I'm going to veto it if this happens, or I'm going to draw a red line if this happens, and then he's sort of backed away from his own things. So he can say all he wants, absolutely this is not going to happen, but unless he actually follows through, talks the talk, walks the walk. He comes across like a relatively weak president at times. He does not seem to lead his own party.
This isn't the only battle going on right now, too. We have the debt ceiling looming around the corner. Is there any hope that, we've gone through this so many times, is there any hope that there's going to be a change anytime soon?
No. That's a fast one. The next elections are November in 2014, and I think a lot of the congressmen are going to be up for re-election, and this is what they're looking at. They want to solidify their base early, and they want to obviously win re-election. So a lot of this is election politics this far in advance.
All right, Joe, we always appreciate the knowledge. Thank you very much. Lisa?